In 1946, Elvis was enrolled at a new school, Milam, situated in central Tupelo. Here, his desire to perform was again encouraged.
Oh yeah, it was a good school. Yeah, we had a Jim Dandy good teacher. She cared so much about her kids in school, you know, that she'd let him bring the guitar up there, and of course all he'd done was just sort of strum the guitar, sort of beat on it. But he'd sing it at dinner hour. We'd go and eat dinner and come back in the classroom, and we'd just sort of gather around him, you know, all us kids, and he would sing Old Shep. That's about the only one he knowed back then, and everybody liked him real well. I never did hear nobody say anything bad about him or either try to fight with him or be mean to him or anything. He was good-hearted back then.
Tupelo had a large black population, and as he matured, Elvis began to investigate the musical and racial diversity of his hometown.
After he got started in the, you know, sort of singing at school, he wanted to go hear some black music, so we went up in what they called here was Shake Rag. That's where blacks all stayed, and the poor people. And eventually he moved up there in the edge of it. And then he'd come down to my house on Allen Street. It wasn't just a few blocks. And he'd get me, and we'd go up in Shake Rag and sit on the porches and listen to the black music. And he really liked that too.
It was at the black churches, however, that Elvis heard the music that truly inspired him.
This train is a clean...
Gospel music was always Elvis's favorite kind of music, the kind of music he turned to time and again in his private life, and that he would play between shows and to his friends. He took it very seriously.
We did go to a black person's church up here in Shake Rag one Sunday morning. We wanted to hear the black music, and we liked it because we'd already been going and sitting on the porches up there at the store and listening to them play. There'd be 5 or 6 out there on that porch playing the music. So we slipped up there. We asked his mama, could we go walking, and she said yeah. So we slipped up in the Shake Rag, and she didn't know that. If she did, she'd really got us. And there was a church up there that the window was broke, a sort of a plug out of it. We could peep in, and they were singing songs, and we'd peep in that window and watch them sing, you know. He'd watch a while, and then I'd watch a while. And before church was over, we come on running back on down here.
Elvis's desire to be more than just a schoolboy singer brought him into contact with Mississippi Slim, a local country singer who was also James Osborne's brother. Osborne, however, had previously been unaware of Elvis's ambitions to be an entertainer.
Well, at first, he didn't say nothing about it too much, but he got to talking about it, and my brother was on the radio, and so I told him, I said, I'll just carry you up there and let you listen to my brother.
Slim had a regular show on WELO, a station that broadcast an amateur hour, the WELO Jamboree, from the Tupelo courthouse. He became Elvis's first contact in the entertainment industry and eventually played with him live on air.
We went up to my brother's program, Mississippi Slim, on WLO, and my brother helped him on a guitar, showed him some chords on the guitar. Of course, he didn't know too many after he left here, but he would show him some, and my brother told him, said, if you want to sing on the radio, said, you learn that song real well, and says, I'll play the music for you, and you sing on my program.
I think WELO was very important to Elvis for a number of reasons. At the time, they were a young radio station. In fact, I think they went on the air the year Elvis performed as a 10-year-old. That's the reason they were at the fair doing this children's talent show, and to my knowledge, they never did that children's talent show again. But they would sell blocks of time to anybody that wanted to come in and have a show. So you didn't have to be that great to sing on WELO, but that's not to say there weren't a lot of really good singers that he was exposed to by that radio program. But when they carried it one step further and he went to Mississippi Slim's Saturday Jamboree, which was broadcast live from the courthouse, that gave him an audience, both in the physical people that were there, that he could have interaction with an audience, plus he was broadcast around, which had to be a good feeling to him, you know, that I'm saying on the radio. That's one more step up on the ladder. And I think he had already started to climb that ladder. He had already set his sights on something higher. He didn't necessarily share it with everybody, but you can't always share your dreams with just anybody.
In November 1948, the Presley family left Tupelo behind them and moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where they hoped that work would be more readily available. After 10 months of initial struggle, they finally came to settle at 185 Winchester, an apartment in the government housing blocks known as the Lauderdale Courts.
I first met Elvis, both of us was about 14 years old, and we'd both moved to Lauderdale Courts about the same time. We like got in scraps the very first day I saw him. I had gone to see a friend of mine, and I'd had a roll of funny books, and he was on the front steps in front of his house, and I went by and slapped him up back the head with him. There's 2 or 3 guys and girls around. He slapped me back the head, and I turned around, and fire was in both of our eyes for a little bit, but then he grinned, I did, and I went on. And from then on, we were good friends.